Hello and welcome. It's yours truly, Brian Earl, coming to you here from Christmas Past headquarters in sunny San Mateo, California. I hope wherever you are in the world that you are happy and healthy and that you've got the Christmas spirit just like I do and my guest does as well. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Todd in Missouri. Hi, Todd. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Now, Todd, in addition to sharing a love for Christmas, you and I have something else very important in common, which is that we were both lucky enough to experience Christmas as children in the 80s. So we're here today to play a game of Christmas trivia, the Totally 80s edition. Now, before we start, I'm sure, Todd, that you, like I did, received many very 80s Christmas gifts. Can you name one of the gifts you got as a kid that just screams 1980s?
Oh, Transformers by far,
I'll
because
tell
I
you,
used to.
I received a Transformer the same year I also received a Michael Jackson doll. And I remember on Christmas morning having battles between my Transformer and my Michael Jackson doll. Probably the most 80s Christmas scene you could imagine.
Yes, I used to study the J.C. Penney catalog of the Transformers and try to figure out how they transform. That way, I knew when I got them, I didn't have to waste the time with the
So you
book.
were ready to receive, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay, let's explain our game. As always, these games go in 4 rounds with 5 questions each. Each round follows a specific format or theme. You get 1 point for every question, and no points are taken off for incorrect answers. I can always grant partial points or bonus points at my discretion. Along the way, we'll also get a chance to know about Todd a little bit more. But for now, let's jump right into our game, Totally 80s Christmas Trivia. Our first round is one of my favorite games to play, the Sears Wishbook Over-Under Challenge. So you just mentioned the J.C. Penney catalog. I'm sure you also remember the Sears Wishbook. When I was growing up, it was practically the first Christmas card of the season, and we'd all study everything in it and dog-ear the pages and mark the gifts we were hoping to get. But were you paying attention to the prices? I'm guessing you weren't, but let's see how
No.
well you fare. So
Okay.
the viewers at home are going to see some images on the screen. We're showing some shots from the catalog. What I'm going to do for each of them is name you a price that is not correct. All you have to do is tell me whether the actual price that appeared in the catalog is over or under the price that I name. Got it?
Okay.
All right. Our first item is the Wuzzle. Was the Wuzzle over or under $20?
Oh, I'd say under.
It was under $17.99. Now, I'll give you a bonus point if you can answer this question. The word wuzzle is a real word. It actually appears in the dictionary. Do you know what it means?
Um, I'll take a stab. Lovable.
Good guess, because it almost sounds like nuzzle, but it actually means to
Yeah.
mix up. So if you look at the toys, that's what
Uh,
it is. It's like a mixture between a bumblebee and a tiger or something like
oh,
that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
The next item on the over-under challenge is this totally 80s exercise bike. We're assuming leg warmers not included. Was the exercise bike over or under $75?
I'd say over
It
$75.
was indeed over $75. It was $99.99 back in 1985. Our next item is this very futuristic robot, which actually can bring you drinks according to the catalog copy, because in the future, no one should have to get their own drink. But was the price back in the 80s over or under $200?
Ooh. Um, I'm gonna guess over $200.
It was it was way over $200. The actual price, $449.99.
Wow.
Lots of 99-cent ones here. Our next item in the over-under challenge is the Castle Grayskull. Was Castle Grayskull over or under $50?
That was under $50.
It was indeed $29.99. Let's give you another opportunity for a bonus point. The drawbridge in Castle Grayskull actually had a cute name. Do you remember what it was?
I sure don't. I should, but I don't remember the name at all.
Well, the appearance of the drawbridge gives you the name. It is the Jawbridge.
Oh,
And I love
makes
how all those
perfect.
pictures from the catalog, it will show you the castle, but then all of the little action figures that go with it, and then underneath it's like all these things not included, but it shows you how you're
Yes.
supposed to play with it. Okay, the last item in the Wishbook Over Under Challenge is this super awesome radio control racetrack. Was this over or under $100?
Oh, I'm gonna guess under.
Correct. It was actually
Ooh.
$79.99. So at the end of round one, you scored a perfect 5 points. And we'll move on to the next round in just a moment. But I understand that your family has a very cool sounding Christmas tradition called Cookie Day, and I would love to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, Cookie Day. This will be the 23rd year we've had it. It's just an open house that my parents put on. My mom decorates the whole house, 10 trees, maybe a couple extra here or there, and we bake cookies and just have anybody that wants to come and relax and enjoy some time with one another, drinking coffee, eating cookies, enjoying the decorations, just kind of get away from it all. And we have about 23 different kinds we make, usually about 4,500 individual cookies,
Wow.
and usually 120, 150 people show up. So
Wow.
it's a good time, and I'm already starting to get people asking when is it again this year. So
And do
it's
you
become
have
quite
a signature cookie that you make?
um not really. The snickerdoodles are always real popular. One of the favorites it's called an orange slice cookie, and it's actually was my grandpa's favorite recipe, and it was a no bake cookie and it was a Depression era recipe, so all the ingredients were real common and easy to get a hold of, and that's always a real popular one still. And we always make it kind of in honor of him. So
That sounds like a really nice tradition. And I'll be looking
yeah.
forward to seeing some photos from Cookie Day. We'll share those on the Facebook group. By the way, guys, if you're not on the Facebook group, I'll put some info about that in the show notes below. We'd love to welcome you to our community. As Todd can tell you, we're a really friendly bunch. We just love talking about Christmas. So I hope that we can see you there sometime soon. Todd, are you ready for another round?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Round two is which song came first? Okay. We have a lot of Christmas songs that came to us from the 80s, but were you paying attention to what year each of them came out? In each question, I'm going to give you a pair of songs. All you have to do is tell me which one came out first. And I will tell you that for each pair of songs, there's at least a 2-year gap between them. So there are no trick questions like one came out in November of 1982 and the other one came out in December of 1982. Okay, there's a clear separation between them. Question number one is, Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid and Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses? Which one came first?
I don't know. I would guess Christmas Wrapping came first.
Absolutely. That was in 1982, and Do They Know It's Christmas came 2 years later. Question number two, Last Christmas by Wham or Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC?
Ooh. I'd say Christmas in Hollis was first.
Sorry, that's not correct. It was Wham came out in 1984, Christmas in Hollis in 1987.
Oh, my mercy.
Next one. Do you remember the comedy song, The 12 Pains of Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, that's one of them for this question. And the other is The Greatest Gift of All, which was a duet between Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
I'd guess the Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers song.
Absolutely. That was in 1984, and The 12 Pains was in 1987. Next question is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This was the rendition put out by the Pointer Sisters. Or Thank God It's Christmas by The Works.
Thank God It's Christmas by The Works.
Correct again. That was in 1984. And Santa Claus is Coming to Town was 1987. Okay, last question in this round. Christmas Rappin' by Curtis Blow or Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues?
The Curtis Blow song.
Absolutely. And depending on which report you believe, that might have actually been a 70s song, but I checked a couple sources and confirmed that it's from 1980 and Fairy Tale of New York is from 1987. So let's take a quick pause to look at the score. You had a perfect 5 in the last round. You missed one in this round, so you are up to 9 points. Okay. So I understand that you are a collector of Funko Pop, and I have to admit I had to look that up because I had no idea what it was. And for those of us watching who don't know what it is, could you explain that?
Yeah, it's a company called Funko, and they make these bobbleheads of anything that's pop culture related, from movies to cartoons to comic books, just anything pop culture. And there's these bobbleheads, and it's a great community to connect with people, and then the thrill of the hunt to try to find some, because some are harder to get than others, and things like that. And on top of that, they make a pretty cool display for your man cave or your TV room.
Yeah.
So
So is there one that
it's
you're
kind of
most
way to,
proud of?
um I have a couple. I have I was able to get all the Fraggle Rock ones for my
Oh,
wife, and
nice.
that was a lot of fun seeing
Uh-huh.
her, because that just seeing them brought back so many childhood memories from her, watching Fraggles when she was a kid on TV with her family and stuff. And they're just a great reminder of the things that you loved when you was a kid, and put a smile on your face. So
Ah, that sounds
and
great.
my kids enjoy them too now, and it's something we all do together, collect.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, are you ready for another round of Christmas trivia?
Yes, sir.
All right. One of my favorite games to play, I think I include this in all of my trivia games. It's called Am I Jingling Your Bell? In other words, am I pulling your leg? These 5 questions, I'm going to be describing something that came to us from the 80s. Your job is to tell me whether it's real or fake. Everything in this round is about 80s Christmas entertainment. So the 80s gave us just more than its fair share of popular culture as far as decades go. And of course, when you're dealing with that kind of volume, not all of it can be good. So I'm going to
Right.
describe to you some questionable forms of 80s Christmas entertainment. Just tell me if I'm telling you the truth or not. Question
Okay.
number 1 is a Christmas special called Q*bert Saves Christmas. This is a special where the famous video game character has to save Christmas after Santa crashes his sleigh.
I'd say that's true.
I'm sorry that,
Oh.
you know what?
Uh,
I blame myself. I'm going to give you partial credit because that is actually the plot of Santa Comes to Pac-Land, in which case all of that stuff actually does happen to Pac-Man. And to make matters worse, the ghosts are after him throughout the whole thing.
I was thinking of that because Kubert had his own Saturday morning
Yeah.
cartoon there for a while, so I thought, well, maybe that was a plot of that.
Well, half a point for you. Number 2 is a a Star Wars themed Christmas album called Christmas in the Stars, which includes, among other things, a track called R2D2, We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
After their Christmas special on TV, pray that one's false.
That is absolutely true. And
Oh no.
again, everybody who's watching, look in the show notes down below. I'm going to put links to some of the songs because they actually are here
Oh,
on YouTube, and they are pretty much exactly what you expect them to be.
oh,
All
mercy.
right. Number 3, a Christmas special called Deck the Halls with Wacky Walls. This is a cartoon based on those sticky octopus toys known as the Wacky Wall Walkers, in which they learn the true meaning of Christmas.
All right, I'm gonna say that one's false. That
That is
that's not.
absolutely true. And
Oh
again,
my
everybody, look in
goodness.
the show notes below. It's here on YouTube. You'll see. They're aliens from outer space who come to Earth and have to learn the true meaning of Christmas. I
Oh my
remember getting
goodness.
those things in cereal boxes. They'd be in like Fruit
Hmm.
Loops. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, Christmas on Fresh Street. This is a single by Fresh Street, a supergroup made up of members of 80s boy bands, including Boys to Men, New Edition, and Menudo.
I'll say that one's false.
That one is false. All right.
Yes. Yes.
And number 5, Santatron, a 1983 game for the Atari 2600 console where Santa and his reindeer have to collect magic pellets while evil robot elves are hot on their trail.
I'll go with false again.
That was false. Although that would have been pretty awesome. That couldn't have been much worse
Yeah.
than the ET Atari 2600 game. Did you
The
have any
one
of
they
those video
buried
game
in the landfill.
consoles when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Atari was my first when I was a kid, and
Atari was my first, and then our neighbor had ColecoVision, which I really, really wanted
yeah.
because I think Donkey Kong Jr. was only available for the ColecoVision.
Uh, yeah, we had a Atari and then a Nintendo after that. So
Now, at the end of round 3, you are at 11 and a half points, and we're going into our final round. This is fill in the blank. So I'm just going to give you some statements with a
Okay.
word or phrase missing. All you have to do is give me the correct answer. Ready to play?
Okay.
Okay. This is the boy band behind hits. Oh, this boy band behind hits like "The Right Stuff" and "Please Don't Go, Girl" released the song "Funky Funky Xmas" in 1989.
Um, New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. Very good job. Bill Murray played a TV executive named Frank Cross in this 1988 movie comedy.
Scrooged.
That's correct. This top-selling 80s toy was an animated stuffed animal that read stories through a tape deck embedded in its torso.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin. Did you have Teddy Ruxpin?
No, I never did get a Teddy Ruxpin.
I wanted it, never got it. This retail chain described itself in its commercials as follows: "From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is."
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us is correct. And your last question. This brand of winter gloves, popular in the early 80s, revealed hidden colors and designs whenever they were exposed to cold temperatures.
Oh. I know what you're talking about, but I cannot think of the name.
Give you 5 more seconds.
I don't know. I'm drawing
We
a
were
complete
looking
blank.
for Freezy Freakies.
Oh, that wasn't even close to what I was thinking.
Okay, so let's see.
So-
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 and a half points is your final score. And for the season, you currently have the high score to beat. So our next player will have to do better than you to move the game forward. Of course, you are eligible for our Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. And I have to admit, I don't even know what that means at this point. We just know we're going to have something like that at the end of the season. Before I let you go, how are you planning to spend Christmas this year?
We'll be at Christmas Eve night at my parents' house, and then we always do a big Christmas breakfast here at my house and with the kids. And then this year we're going in the afternoon to see Mary Poppins Returns with everybody.
Oh, wonderful.
On Christmas Day.
Sounds great. Well, look, Todd, I want to thank you very much for playing our game of Christmas trivia. I want to extend the invite to anybody watching this. If you're interested in playing with me, you can either leave a comment below or write me at christmaspastpodcast@gmail.com. And who knows, maybe someday soon I can put your Christmas spirit to the test. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.